Welcome, Marian University faculty, staff, and students to the Fall State of the University Address. Please join me in welcoming Sister Mary Beth.
When the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg founded Marian University in 1851, we also took on the role of sponsorship. As you might know, sponsorship of a ministry is a formal relationship between a recognized Catholic organization, in this case, the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg, and a legally formed entity, Marian University. This relationship is created for the sake of promoting and sustaining the Church's mission in the world, and to ensure the Catholic and Franciscan identity of the university. In the role of sponsorship, the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg are functioning as a public juridic person. We, the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg, want Marian to always be a Catholic Franciscan university. As the congregation's members age and our numbers decrease, we needed to find a way to ensure the Catholic Franciscan identity going forward. One way to accomplish this was to ask the Vatican to establish a new public juridic person. You might remember this process started over 10 years ago. It's not easy to navigate the complexities of the Vatican, and public juridic persons for educational institutions are not common. We, the Sisters of St. Francis, persisted in this endeavor because we are committed to Marian University and want to ensure that Marian will always be a Catholic and Franciscan university. After years of study, research, prayer, and conversation, we were told that Rome would not create a public juridic person for one educational institution. Church law experts advised us to work with other congregations sponsoring higher education institutions to create a joint PJP. Our contacts through the Association of Catholic Colleges and Universities and the Association of Franciscan Colleges and Universities led us to a collaboration with the Sisters of St. Francis of Mary Immaculate, it's a long name, Joliet, who sponsor St. Francis University in Joliet. This work culminated in the creation of the Third Order Franciscan University Alliance. So what does all this mean? It means that the Catholic and Franciscan identity of both Marian University and the University of St. Francis Joliet will be maintained by this new PJP, the Third Order Franciscan University Alliance. It means that the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg will continue to support Marian through prayer and presence for as long as we are able. We are the founders of Marian University, the first women of Marian. We're proud of that, and we're proud of each of you. We will always welcome you to Oldenburg, so please come to visit when you are able. It means that I will continue to serve as the Vice President of Mission Integration and Sponsorship. Hopefully that's a good thing. It does not mean that Marian University and the University of St. Francis will become one educational institution. There will be little noticeable change in our daily ministry here at Marian University. The tagline, sponsored by, will change, but our life and work will continue at a great Catholic and Franciscan university. We are entering a new stage of our journey. It is exciting and somewhat scary. Yet we trust the wisdom of our ancestors and the loving presence of our God. I'd like to close with the epilogue of the Constitution of the Sisters of St. Francis Oldenburg. It's called Vision and Journey. I quote this a lot, so you might have heard this before, but I think it's particularly important at this time in our history. Blessed in our heritage, the gospel of Jesus, the ideals of Francis and Clare, the example of Mother Teresa Hackelmeyer, rich in our traditions, faith to dare, hope to seek, love to endure, courage to venture. Challenged in our future by the needs of all peoples, by the suffering of our world, by the love of our Creator. We rededicate ourselves to venture on with courage, with hope, with simplicity, with openness, with joy. Please feel free to come talk to me if you have questions, need clarification on anything. This is a good thing that we have created this, or the Vatican has created, we're not allowed to create them, this new public juridic person, and it will strengthen Marian for the future. So thank you. I'd like to now invite Dr. Ken Britt to the stage.
Well, good afternoon. It is such a joy to be with you today. I'm grateful and honored to serve as the Chancellor and Chief Operating Officer here along with you. I love the cyclical nature of our academic years. You know, the seasons. You get to start new, every year. So this is my 12th new start to an academic year. And I was sharing with a few people not too long ago that I don't know if I've ever been more excited and hopeful than I am right now with this new start to this academic year. And I think that's because of one of the bullets that is on the next slide is the leadership team. And I want to use that term very broadly, leadership team. Leadership, as we talk about it here at Marian University, leadership not by title, but by impact. All of you in here are transformational leaders. Leadership is Patrick McVeigh stepping up to be the presiding officer of the faculty. Leadership is Julia Bumgart previously and now Amanda Egan stepping up to serve on the operations and student success team as a faculty representative. Yeah, leadership also is Jeff and Matt and Carl and others standing in the dunk tank getting dunked this past weekend at this wonderful celebration that we had, family weekend. Leadership is also Father Rick, not only joining us to serve as our new chaplain, but agreeing to serve on the intramural sand volleyball team and the cornhole team. Leadership, the joy of leading this institution. You are the reason that we are a great Catholic university, serving in this great American city. So I'm joyful, excited, every adjective that you can imagine about the year that we're going into. Now we're going to talk a little bit about a snapshot of the success that we've had over the last several academic years. Speaking of transformational leaders, I want to thank, and I'd like all of us to thank Jessica Morales-Most, Vice President for Enrollment Management, for her and for Kyle and Patrick and Luann and Kristen and all of them for the work that they did in bringing in and welcoming a record-setting class this year. We welcomed over 1,300 new students on all of our campuses and online this year. 1,300. Think about that for a moment. It wasn't too long ago when Marian College didn't even enroll a total of 1,300 students. Yet now we are bringing in 1,300 transformational leaders who will go out and serve the world. That's remarkable. We serve over 5,000 total students. What a great opportunity that we have to serve the world who desperately needs our Marian University Knights. If you look at first-time, full-time freshmen alone, this would be first-time starts, 2 or 4-year degrees, main campus, St. Joe's, or up at Ancilla. Over the last 4 years, some of our institutions, our friends in private higher education in the Midwest, have declined by as much as 30%. That's a staggering number. Yet Marian has increased our first-time, full-time student population by almost 20% in just 4 years. The quality of this institution continues to rise because of the work that our faculty and staff do each and every day. If you look at our graduate enrollment, led by our health professions, our College of Osteopathic Medicine, well, hold on, our Wood College of Osteopathic Medicine, yet again welcomed a full class of 162 students. And the work that Amanda and Kyle and company do to recruit such a brilliant class. Biomedical master's degree, our CRNA program, our FNP program, all of our health professions program at the graduate level continues to outpace our competitors and creates this vibrant enterprise we call Marian University. I would like to invite each of us to focus on one particular statistic and work on this over the next few years. We are focused on access and success. We're proud of the numbers, right? We're proud of the type of student that we recruit as well. Many of our students come to Marian that are first generation or low-income college students or from underrepresented communities. We're proud of that. That's the legacy that the sisters gave us beginning in, it says 1851. That's when we started, by the way, not 1937. It goes all the way back to 1851. That's about access. We also need to talk about success. We're proud of the increases that we've seen on the Ancilla campus for retention. In 1 year, our retention increased 15 points. 1 year. That's remarkable. That really doesn't happen with associate degree programs. However, on the main campus, we decreased retention by 2 points. We have to change that. The students that we welcome to Marian University need to be supported so that they succeed and graduate and earn meaningful degrees so that they can go out and serve the world. That's what we're about. So all that means everyone here, from the people who clean the grounds or cut the grass or teach or lead, are involved in this effort. So I would encourage you to think about that over the next few weeks. Next, I want to talk about fundraising. So John Fink, Nick, Mary Callahan, and the entire fundraising team. So we want to give each of you a round of applause for the hard work that you put in each and every day and every year. When President Elsener first started, nearly a quarter century ago, that sounds longer than 24 years. We were raising, Marian College at the time, we were bringing in around, $1 million a year? 12 years ago when I started, I think we were bringing in about $1 million a month. This last year, we were $300,000 short of $70 million. It's 7-0. It's really the Marian miracle when you think about it. People like the Wood family agreeing to step up with transformational lead gifts It's not just because of the advancement team. It's because the work that we were doing in health professions, the work that we were doing with the camps in the summertime, with the team that delivered over and over again, that gave these donors confidence to make transformational gifts. It's the sisters' legacy that they gave us to address our community's most pressing challenges and staying firm in that pursuit, and people wanting to help. People aren't giving Marian University money because we need it. There's 100 other organizations at the feet of these donors. People are investing in Marian University because they know the impact that we have in our community. That's why we continue to secure significant investments. And I think we raised $70 million. You'll hear the president talk a little bit later. So our ticket, every success is a ticket to a greater goal, right? So this year we're going to have even bigger dreams and bigger ideas. Finally, from a research standpoint, I want to thank Dr. Jonathan Lowry. Where's Jonathan? Jonathan? Balcony. There's like peanut heaven up there. You know, these were free tickets. You could have sat down here. It's like church. Jonathan Lowry's leadership and all of you have been really remarkable in our research focus. You remember a few years ago we changed our mission to include research. That is important for us as we continue this next evolution of Marian University. Over the past few years, more than 350 Marian University personnel have written articles or books, scholarly research. Currently, we have over $5 million in research funding and more than $3 million in additional requests out. We will soon move from a national doctoral professional institution, which we were one of the fastest institutions to grow in that level, to a national doctoral research university because of the work that you're doing, led by Jonathan. We will also be one of the 5 R1 or R2 research institutions in the state of Indiana. That will be coming up over the next few years, and we look forward to that. And we will be the only national doctoral research Franciscan university in the United States. As Sister Mary Beth said, our value of the year is dignity of the individual. And I'd like you to think about the students behind the statistics. The information that I shared today, that's fine. We're proud of that. That makes us feel good. And it should be. We should be proud of where we are. But it's the student, it's the individual that we serve. The president and I often, if we don't have a donor meeting, we'll go in and waltz into the cafeteria, which I would encourage you to do. You learn a lot about Marian University talking to the students. And I had a conversation with a student today, Caleb. First time I met the guy, I usually find someone who's sitting by themselves and I pop up down beside them and interrupt their lunch. And I met Caleb today. And Caleb is a social work major. And, you know, I shared with him, I said, you know, tell me about your story. So he shared a story with me and I said, why do you want to be in social work? He said, I grew up in an underrepresented, low-income community and I want to give back. That's what we're doing here. That's the power of Marian University. That's the power of what you are doing, is generating transformational leaders in service to the world. And I'm grateful to work with you each and every day, and I thank you, and God bless you. Speaking of transformational leaders again, President Elsener has served this university for almost a quarter century, and he has overseen with each of us the Marian miracle. We are extremely blessed by his continued courage to venture in carrying that legacy that the sisters gave us. So President Elsener, it's the state of the university for you.
Thank you, Dr. Brett. That was very nice. Sister, you were worried about your presentation too long. I thought it was perfect. Thank you very much. And it was very heartfelt, and I greatly enjoyed it. It occurred to me, I said something, are we serving margaritas in the balcony? Maybe the teetotalers are down here and they're having all the fun up there. Well, next year maybe I can I got to get my job. Oh, it's a peanut gallery, okay. I would like to reiterate, this quarter of a century thing, you got to quit. I was feeling like I needed crutches or a wheelchair to get up here. Kind of intimidating. But the years I've been here, we really, up and down the line, are off to such perfect, joyous start. And I'll ask students, how's your classes? Oh, I love all my classes. So we're putting the time and effort and planning outstanding syllabus and delivering it and staff support. This last weekend, we really had a lot of fun. You know, we had a horse out, and I was riding around on a horse. When I came here originally, that's the transportation we had here. There's your quarter of a century. So I just didn't get over that. But we have cars and air conditioning now. We're real excited. But the fact that there's such joy and everything, and I didn't do it very well, but Dr. Jen Plumley, you really, in the center of campus, and all of your friends, you're just an outstanding leader, and you're an outstanding faculty and staff. And Dr. Britt, really, you were complimenting everybody. You're an outside, we're not here to pat each other in the back, but the fact of the matter is, in a dozen years, we couldn't have imagined the record of success you have and the people you've helped recruit, including Father Rick, which he calls me from Italy. He said, hey, I found us another priest. I said, well, you got to put him in your suitcase and bring him over. Well, eventually he didn't do suitcase deal, but we do have him, and so we're very thankful. The conditions in higher ed, as Dr. Britt mentioned, are difficult. You know about the demographics, and you know that a lot of institutions are shrinking, closing, wondering what to do, et cetera. And we've just been very blessed. So it doesn't happen because you're lucky, and a good future isn't by chance, it's by choice. And it's by effort, and it's by courage to be distinctive and high quality. I'll just recap a few things and things we want to focus on together, if that'd be all right. That's something you see around campus a lot, this little house. At the top of its vision, by the way, our new chair, Toby McClamrock's here, and our board also has been we've had unbelievable board trustees since I've been here. Very, very dedicated, and thank you, Toby, for taking on. If we had to pay Toby, we'd be in financial trouble. He's here a lot. And welcome here. We really appreciate your hands-on approach, and the other board members. Remarkable. You understand our board members actually pay for the privilege of serving us. It's really a nice arrangement. If any of us can sign up for that, we're open to it. It'll help us with our budget. But our vision's about leadership, transformational leadership. We picked that vision some years ago. Wherever there's good leadership, people flourish. And again, it isn't about title, Dr. Britt said. And he talked about our 3 pillars. We have a lot of goals and objectives, but there's what holds up our mission, these 3 pillars about faith and action, access and success, and of course our STEM initiative. I'll talk more about that. I'd like to focus on our mission a minute. We really have 3 parts of the mission, and I would ask that you courageously, the courage to venture still with us, courageously pursue this mission. First of all, it says who we are. We're a Catholic university. Right out of the bat, it says that. Now, we're a particular type with Franciscanism, so don't worry, we'll get to that. As a Catholic university, think of 4 things that we really focus on. We're called to do. There's rich documents that explain this. A Catholic university is created to positively influence the culture. The culture is what's all around us, and an institution of higher learning basically, over the years, sets a culture. Educated people get to run the boards and do the leadership and the professions. And we want to be, through our leadership, this tremendous influence on culture. Secondly, a Catholic university wants to, and boy, during the election season, think about this. We want to be a home of lively dialogue between faith and reason, different ideas. People with different ideas do not lose their dignity. We, in dialogue of faith and reason, different points of view, what we hold together in our humanity is so big that a different view and learning about different views and exchanging ideas is not a threat to us. Faith seeks understanding in a Catholic university. A Catholic university is a place by witness and teaching in theology course, philosophy, actually all courses. We teach the Judeo-Christian ethic, a lens and look the world to inform our conscience. It's not to dictate conscience. It's to form a conscience that's conscientious of dignity and purpose and larger calling and human flourishing. Fourth thing about a Catholic university we're called to do, if you look at church documents, why was the ministry created? First universities were Catholic universities, right, in Europe? Why? To respond to the needs of our time. Look what Marian's doing in the neighborhood, in education, in the Reed Project, in medicine, in teaching, moral capitalism. Go down the list. We're responding to the needs all around us all the time. A few overarching themes, and this should say courageous distinctiveness and growth. Somehow I think I left growth off there by accident. What is distinctive about Marian? In the heart of our mission is learning excellence. You might think learning is a commodity. It is not. It should be fairly obvious if you pay attention to what's going on. A lot of learning needs to take place. And the science, the cognitive learning science that's developing, we need to be an institution living up, that's what we do. We are a Catholic university dedicated to excellence in learning. That's in quality teaching, quality research, quality scholarly activity. That's what we do every day here at Marian University. That's what we do. The final thing we do that makes us distinctive is we're Franciscan and liberal arts is our foundation. A university that's purely utilitarian, that educates people for a job, is a good university. A great university helps people connect dots and larger purposes and the interconnection of knowledge, right? And that takes a higher order of learning. Think of the Franciscan charism. It's, I think of the Aquinas charism is understand theology, how do you prove there's a God, and the whole apologetics. Francis says it's everywhere. It's in the people, it's in nature, it's in God's creation. And we understand it in a broader way, and that teams up so nicely with the liberal arts. Correct? You might be a physician, but before you is not a disease, it's a human being. A human being with economic concerns and social concerns and spiritual concerns. And that's how we treat them with dignity. When I say growth, we're going to have to keep looking at healthy institutions improve their scale and their diversity of programs. 15 years ago, 16 years ago, when we made the big pivot to be a university, we said, you know what, a small college, a small endowment is like an emaciated deer on a very cold day in the woods, okay? You thin out the herd. Picture it. 5 below and you haven't eaten in a while. It won't work. And so we made a big pivot and said we have a larger calling. And by the way, we aren't going to survive that way. We had the courage to venture, and we won't lose that courage. Fundraising will take a top priority here because that's how you create new programs like occupational therapy, physical therapy, build, expand the med school, etc. And what we're trying to do here, I would say, is also very unique. What you've seen in higher ed is as you're successful, higher ed tends then to say, well, let's go serve people who are quite wealthy and can afford the sticker price, right? We've maintained a beautiful economic, social diversity of a student body. So we have this high quality education that's very expensive to deliver. It's not a mass production model, right? We have smaller classes, we know our students. I mean, students just walk in my office, say, hey, can I take my picture with you? I got a project I'm doing. I just did this afternoon. I got a kick out of it when they left. I wonder if that happens everywhere. I don't think it happens at IU. They probably have security guards. I probably need one. But I do have the big, mace, the Marian man I could pull off and defend myself. Well, anyway, this is a unique offering with all sorts of services and beauty and good people that we need to pay and compensate and take care of. And we have a lot of people here that from family background can't afford it, but we've made a commitment to do that. So we fundraise for the scholarship endowment and to start new programs. We try not to use fundraising money to plug gaps in our operation. So we have a great big strategic plan. A lot will go on here. Through conversation this summer and then with the board a couple weeks ago, we've settled on 5 things that we want to make really important this year. And some of them you'll hear a lot about the next couple of years. One is the Clips College, Health Sciences, and we will talk a lot about, after Health Sciences, of course, leveraging our strengths. I'll talk about that in a minute, fundraising, operational excellence. I'll go through these quickly. In the Clips College, right now we have this little thing called READ, the Riverside Educational Innovation District. Let me be real clear so when someone asks you about it, the Riverside Educational Innovation District is something that I don't know anything like it in the country. It's not about Marian acquiring real estate or 150,000 square feet of buildings. We have 22 acres down the street. When we looked at that property for years, one reason we looked at it is because we're always expanding, right? The second reason we looked at it is there's too much blight in this neighborhood, empty, abandoned, downward spiral. So we have this beautiful campus, everything's going, not everything, but we're very happy, let's face it. Nobody here misses a meal, we get health insurance, and we have wage, et cetera, et cetera. Never enough, I'm sure. But our neighbors aren't in such a delightful position often, if you look at the data and statistics around us. In this modern economy, education attainment is the coin of the realm. And I often think about the Good Samaritan story. So, Jesus, what are the most important laws? He said, love God, love your neighbor. And, this guy on the side of the road in the Good Samaritan story, a lot of people passed him by, right? And the Good Samaritan stops. We drive to work every day here by a lot of challenged areas and challenged people and challenged institutions. And we have this great university. We do research. We have all these PhDs, quality staff, highly educated place. In this neighborhood, from 38th to 16th, Martin Luther to Lafayette, about 6% of people in this area have an education beyond high school. About 1 out of 6 hasn't even graduated from high school. So if 6 people walk down the road, 1 of them hasn't even gotten out of high school. The family incomes are very low. And it also marks then that low educational attainment means low investment in the neighborhood because people can't spend money because they're not making money. And so what happens? So can we do everything as an institution? No. And it's about learning excellence. So as we spent a year discerning, looking at data, we put to a grant to Lilly Endowment and said, and we talked to all the schools, and Dr. Leanne Kayakowski was lead, and Dr. Turner and some others, many others actually, went to the schools, said, we'd like to walk alongside you with the churches in the neighborhood. We know the science of reading. We get remarkable results. I don't know if you've heard about the outstanding results that our partner schools where we've been in literacy cadres are getting unbelievable growth results compared to the state. What if we partnered with you and drove up literacy scores? And if you look at the data around third grade reading, you can predict graduation rates, college going rates, et cetera, right? And there's a lot of issues around academic, you have to work with the community. But the big thing we can do inside the school, we have City Connects working with social problems. The big thing about the science of reading, we can actually drive learning up to 90-95%. So we made a commitment to Lilly and our partners that we'd look and transform a neighborhood's educational attainment, put children on a trajectory to a new life, and their parents and families connected. As an academic enterprise, we go away from theorizing, hypothesizing, a nice, neat classroom where you get to control the variables, and we're going to put our claims and our values on the ground. I like to say sometimes we're going to get our hands dirty, right? For a good cause. But, as I said, what does a Catholic institution do? You affect culture, right? You serve humanity by witness. You use your expertise. Where are the jobs? They're in science. What do teachers, they need to know history well. They need to know all the different phenomena to be a great teacher. It's not only about the science of reading, but it's about knowledge of subjects. That's the business we're in. We can do research of what's effective, what doesn't work. It's a lot about health. So in this neighborhood, we're going to be able to take a university and make it our classroom, our research, our scholarly activity, our sense of mission. We'll also focus, there'll be some new developments coming out about character and civics. We're talking to a super deluxe magnanimous donor about us taking up that as well alongside our science and math and reading. I'm terribly intrigued, folks, about what's going to happen with technology and AI to advance reading, with computer science and engineering and understanding processes. It's a big opportunity for us, and we're going to train leaders in these areas. And of course, this will be a big part of the institution's research agenda. Health sciences will continue to get a lot of attention. We're raising some serious money there to expand the Wood College of Medicine. Graduate medical education, it's our goal. We've signed off. We're in the fight for it. It'll cost money. To have residency sponsored by Marian University, that's a big pivot to being graduate medical education. And Dr. Knight's leading the charge on that. We will also say, let's be more distinctive. How does the faith integrate with excellent training of physicians? Very interested in that. I mentioned occupational therapy, physical therapy. There's 5 different academic programs. There's assistant in each. There's a master's. There's doctoral programs. That'll be a big move for us. We've hired outstanding leaders. I see them there. And we're going to make that go. We will also coordinate a research agenda there. As a smaller institution, being an R2 research institution, we're going to have a strategic plan taken to the board by December. Dr. Lowry and others are working on it. We're sure we'll do research in a lot of areas, but we need a research agenda with some focus in this institution, and we know the places where we want to be really good. Layton School of Nursing continue to grow. We're going to do more online, more partnerships with healthcare. Marcia Casey and others work really hard to keep this. The VA now wants to be a partner with us, and we like that. Whether it's nurse anesthesiology and some of the other things we have in the docket, it's real important. I want to spend a minute on leveraging strengths. I do have that up, good. One of the things that came up in these summer's discussions about our strategic plan is we want to do a lot of things. How do we focus? And there's a big theme here of leveraging what we do well. So say we do something really well and something else we're doing is not distinctive, it's not high quality, and we don't know how to make it better, or we don't have the resources. Let's don't limp along, and let's call the truth out every once in a while and say, hey, we're not going to be really good at that. Let's double down on this. And that takes courage. People don't always like that, but that's part of life. You don't just keep doing what we did last year. If the other thing we want to do is optimize. So say you have a pretty good, darn good program, 60% enrollment. Let's make our first priority get that up where we want it. It could be new programs like we're doing really well in engineering. We have enrollment goals. Let's make sure we fill up that new. We've already made the investment. Beautiful building, huh? Beautiful faculty, wonderful leadership. All right, optimize that. Optimize pre-med. What is some in Eclipse Educators College? We have enrollment goals. We got to hit them. We've made investments. Let's hit them. We're going to build a new building. Let's get it done. We have online program we need to leverage and make it bigger. It's a big part of it. Our partnerships. We probably, I want to estimate, have had 10 colleges and universities get a hold of us, have signed non-disclosure agreements about joining Marian, like our friends at Ancilla are part of our ministry. Other people are coming to us. Most of them, they share their financials and all, and we say, that looks like a sinking ship and you'll pull us down. And not that we're not, mission driven, but we also have to be responsible, right? But there are some others we're having serious discussions about, could Marian serve bigger and better in partnership with others consistent with our values and our strategic plan. So we'll keep looking at that. Some partnerships are with healthcare, business. You know what, and Lindsay and some of the things we're doing online, all the corporations of any size, even a small business, are into learning. Learning turns into money for a business and customers because they learn how to do things better. Excellence in learning is what we do. We didn't say excellent learning for 22-year-olds or 18-year-olds or 25-year-olds. We said learning, womb to tomb. We have opportunities as a learning excellence institution to be in a lot of new places as partners. The last thing, I would leverage our brand. Marian University, we aren't growing in applications. By the way, the missions say they're having record visits again this year, so that's a good sign. We like people to visit here because they tend to enroll. When they meet you all, they just can't resist. The fact of the matter is we have a brand that we can leverage now. We're known as a leadership institution. We're known as a happy place with values and traditions, and people want to be part of it. So continue to be a leader, be distinctive, Catholic University, Franciscan, and excellence in learning. We cannot have average classes. We cannot have average programs. We have to be distinctive, courageous enough to be absolutely outstanding, and the finances and a lot of these other things tend to take care of themselves. Speaking of finance, how are we doing on time? I didn't really look. Oh yeah, we can stay here another hour. No, we won't. I don't know if this picture helps you. There's a certain candidate loves Venn diagrams, so I'm a little shaky ground here. But the fundraising, people probably say, well, heck, if you raise $70 million, I'd like a 20% raise. I mean, I thought about that too. But it doesn't quite work that way, does it, Mike? No. I would give it to you, but Beetle won't let me. No, I won't. Did you ever do that at home? Mom said I could. It's a great place, right? Well, I said you can't. So what do we do with that money? And what are we doing with it? We're being very careful and taking the long view. Our endowment now is up over $150 million. I've told you before, in 2002 it was 2.9. But we've also built a lot of buildings, et cetera, right? So you could say, well, if you're taking in that much money, let's spend it today. I hope everybody here has a retirement plan. We match, make sure you signed up for it. You could say, well, why would I save for that? I want to have more fun today. I am on a vacation. You save for your retirement because someday you will wear out. Well, maybe we won't. We don't know. But you do save money, right? For down payments, for retirement, et cetera. The university making a big commitment to financial aid. It's our biggest budget. Did you know that? What do we have this year? We have about 20-some, almost 25% Latino. Nice diversity in income. We have a lot of Pell Grant students, et cetera. And that's one of the things that makes I really love about Marian. And I just got a note today from one of our graduates who's in the Lacey leadership, and she got a lot of help to come here. And now she's an outstanding business leader and in Leadership Indiana and all. And I got the nicest note from her. By the way, she said, most of all, keep the faith at Marian. I thought that was interesting from a young person in their 20s. But what we do when we raise money is we try to put it in the endowment for scholarships. We will do more endowing of faculty positions to help us keep competitive pay, so we're going to do some of that. We will take donated dollars to grow things like new buildings, new equipment, new programs, because starting a program, you don't have the enrollment right away, right? So you have to subsidize it a while. So we use our fundraising primarily for that. We try to operate off of tuition. That's why we always are it's important to get enrollment goals, not to give away too much money. You know what I mean? Make sure people want to pay for it. It's one thing to want to come here. It's another thing to say, yeah, I'll only come if it's free. So we try to operate off of tuition here. The other thing I would say, and this is, you could say those are a bunch of tactics, but the strategic priority that I'm hearing from the board, and many of you, frankly, hey, it's great we're growing, you have the courage to venture, we're out in the middle of the ocean, we're flying high, we're going fast, but I didn't get my paycheck on time, or it wasn't right, or my computer won't turn on. Now, we have excellent, Ray, I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying, actually, we're very fortunate to have Big Play Ray. We have a great chief technology fellow there. Our finances, we need to pass an audit. People will not give an institution money when we write these big grants. Lilly Endowment gave us $25 million. They want your financial records. They want to know you know how to take care of money. Dr. Britt was right. People don't give us money because we need it. They give us money because what we do with it. And it's growing. Every once in a while, people even call us, say, hey, I want to give you some money. I mean, that's unusual. That's why I always answer the phone. But there's really, if you even don't know the number, but personnel systems, finances, facilities. You've done a great job. We've done a great job making a beautiful campus. Admissions, financial aid has to run like a machine. And what we say in strategically, let's have really strong processes and systems. So even if people change, I don't know if you notice, as we've gained momentum, people come to poach our really talented people sometimes. And you can't keep everybody. Good organizations, other people will come shopping for our talent, right? I mean, I want you all to stay here, but the fact of the matter is, systems, processes, and being organized is a strategy. We have to have an outstanding marketing, communicate. We have to have all these things. We have an outstanding board, but we work hard at governance here. Our board isn't a casual thing. Who we'll select for our board, what we expect of them, we evaluate board members. Do you show up? Do you blah, blah, blah? I mean, there's a system behind all this. Campus and student life. All this works together, and the strategy is to make sure the foundational operations are so excellent that we are able to grow, bring in other universities to our university, and get scale and growth. I'd be remiss if I didn't continue on the Marian Promise. We use it every admission day, so I can't say it and you don't know it. By the way, I forgot a little part of this. Marian University's promise is to provide an education so you have a good life and, of course, success in your professional and leadership endeavors. A Catholic university is much more than utility. Come here, we'll get you a job, it'll be $50,000 or more, or 100. That's a utilitarian education. As I said before, there's value in that. People do like to have work. And I don't think we'll get many students if we say, hey, come here, you may or may not have a job. Make sure your parents keep your bed in the basement already in case you have to come back. That would not be a good sales pitch. But an even better sales pitch about Marian, we absolutely look at you as a whole person and we want you to have a good life. A life of a mind, a life of a learner, a life of a person who seeks to understand more, to serve in the joyous service, and your faith and your spirituality tie together for a good life, good family, good communities. Again, we want to influence culture, and that's what good people do. Now, how do we do it? I tell them our entire community, all of our education, is illumined by the light of faith and grounded in gospel values. And I usually bring up the dignity of the individual. I talk about the Franciscan values and what it means here, never to proselytize. We have people of a lot of different faith traditions, and we like that. That's a lively exchange. But there is a ethos and a logos, a culture, a charism of this place that gives you the values of a good life and why you would learn and how you'd be a steward of it. Challenging academics. Too much has gone on in this country where, well, this student's hard, so I'll just lower expectations. We can never do that here. Not on behavior, not on academics, not on standards. What we do is put generous efforts in helping people reach the high standard. That's where the science excellence in learning comes. There's a science around learning and cognitive research that will help you teach students more. But we have to know it, embrace it. The Eclipse College, the Center for Teaching and Learning, the research agenda. Let's become an organization, say those people know a lot about learning. And when you're there, if you want to retain students, have excellent academic programs where they feel like they're learning and being challenged. I know there's a view by some that, well, they just want it easy. If I'm easy, they'll give me good. No, that isn't our path forward. High standards. But it also then calls us to make a tremendous effort to support and get them there. That's with top students as well, to go new levels. We want to be innovative. We want to provide active, engaged learning. Part of READ is, we not only teach you well in the classroom in the Eclipse College, but we'll actually put you in the field. We'll learn a lot about ourselves and what disciplined good leaders do in athletics, theater, student government. We're a learning enterprise. We're going to focus and continue to focus on this idea of leadership. THIS, right? Trustworthy, healthy, inquisitive, and skilled leaders. We worked hard on that. It should be embedded in curriculum and how we work, whether it be the ethics, what's a healthy approach to life. We do a lot of that, of course, Ruth and others in student life. Finally, I'll just close with this. Oh, look at that. Oh, you guys are fancy. So I want to talk about the power of the M. Adam Setmeyer did something this summer with us around. Where did that M come from? I have a few observations about the power of the M. Of course, it's powered, again, what do we do here? We strive for excellence in learning. Every med student passes boards. Every nursing student passes boards. Student wants to get into law school or med school, they're there. They want to be the world-class, outstanding teacher, they're there. They know the science learning, they deliver, they know how to teach, they're there. What is this power of M about? Well, first of all, I was thinking when you were talking, M is Mary, and the sisters picked that for us. And the sisters, in a way, are this institution's mother, right? The nurturers, they had the vision for us to grow up and be the kind of place we are. The Blessed Mother, in the Christian tradition, understand a person who responded to call without reservation, a joyful servant of God, very humble, think of the manger and all, consecrated to their work. This power of M is very interesting to reflect on. And always faithful. I always, in the gospel story and the Jesus attack, a lot of people scattered for the hills, but Mary was there the whole way. When I talk about being a courageous institution, we have a good model in that power of M. Very good model. Some people talk about the M, you think of mother. I was thinking of that term mother lode. You ever heard that? That's a mother lode. That means rich deposit, a great catch kind of thing we can draw on this excellent learning. Alma mater, of course, is mother. And it's actually bountiful, bounteous mother, bountiful mother, if you take the Latin derivative of the M that we pull from. Sometimes a professor will say, what really matters here is this. Where does the word matter come from? It's mother, generous mother. And we really want to focus on that power of M. It's in the middle of our SIL. It calls us to a higher service, courageous service, faithful service to this high calling, powered by excellence in learning every inch of the way. And I would tell you this, and I'm totally, you can't guarantee much. But if we, every day, with the talent, the creativity, intelligence, and all we have here on this campus, and Scylla, wherever we serve online, if we continually and without reserve follow this calling to pursue excellence in learning in a very distinctive way with the values of this institution, we'll do nothing but be successful, not only with our students, but the influence we have in society. And that M in the middle of our seal, that power of M, is something as we work to be courageous. We want to model for courage. We want to model, we have it in the sisters, what they did and continue to do to evolve. Draw on that M, because that M teaches a lot about the dignity of the individual, the courage to venture, and to continue to be successful in the choppy waters of our society and higher education today and tomorrow. Like we started, it's such an honor to serve with you and to be in difficult times where we're shining together because of what we do and how we concentrate on mission and who we are. Thank you very, very much. Let's have a great semester. God bless.